And there is still more I want you to understand, my beloved one, because the road ahead will require you to remember who you are becoming, not who you once were. There may be moments when old memories try to pull you back into fear, when past pain whispers that peace never lasts, but you must not let yesterday speak louder than what I am doing now. You are not walking into uncertainty the same way you did before. You are walking with awareness, with strength formed through endurance, and with a heart that knows how to listen. You will notice that situations which once drained you now feel easier to manage, conversations that once confused you now feel clear, and choices that once frightened you now feel steady. This is not because life has stopped testing you, but because you have changed from the inside. You no longer react from wounds, you respond from wisdom, and that wisdom is protecting you even when you do not realize it. There will be times when you look at your life and feel surprised by how calm you are, and that calm is not weakness, it is mastery. It is the result of learning when to move and when to wait, when to speak and when to remain quiet. You once thought silence meant defeat, but now you will see it as discernment. You once believed rest meant falling behind, but now you will recognize it as preparation. And because of this shift, what is coming will not overwhelm you. It will meet you at the level you are now able to sustain. You are no longer asking for relief, you are ready for responsibility, and that is why what I place in your life next will come with purpose, not chaos. You will be trusted with influence, with opportunity, with relationships that require maturity, and you will handle them with grace because you have already learned how to survive without them. Nothing will own you the way it once did. Fear will no longer dictate your decisions, and urgency will no longer pressure you into wrong timing. You will move with intention, guided by peace instead of panic, and when delays appear again, you will not fall apart, because you will know how to wait without losing yourself. You will understand that pauses do not cancel progress, they refine it, and this understanding will keep you grounded while others rush and stumble. There will be people who notice the change in you but cannot explain it. They will sense stability, depth, and clarity, and some will be drawn to it while others will feel uncomfortable around it. Do not be troubled by either response. Not everyone can remain close to someone who has healed, and not everyone who knew your pain will recognize your growth, but that is not your burden to carry. Your responsibility is simply to remain true to what you have learned, protect your peace, and continue moving forward with humility and confidence together, because this is the life you were always being shaped for, not a life of constant struggle, but a life of steady becoming, and I will remain with you through every step, ensuring that what unfolds next is not only meaningful, but lasting. Stay with me still, my precious one, because this unfolding has not reached its fullness yet, and there are truths I want to settle gently but firmly into your heart. You have spent so long being strong that you forgot what it feels like to be carried, and now I am reminding you that you were never meant to hold everything alone. I see how carefully you guard your hope, how you hesitate to expect too much because disappointment once hurt deeply. But hear me clearly now, this next season is not built on fragile promises, it is built on steadiness, and you will not have to brace yourself for loss the way you once did. I am teaching you how to receive without fear, how to open your hands without worrying that what is placed there will vanish, because what I am giving you is rooted, secure, and meant to remain. You have learned patience through pain, endurance through waiting, and compassion through suffering, and these qualities were not formed to exhaust you but to prepare you. They are the very reasons you will now walk with confidence instead of hesitation. There were moments when you questioned your own value because others failed to see it, moments when you wondered if being kind, honest, and faithful even mattered in a world that seemed to reward the opposite. But I tell you now, nothing you lived with integrity was ever overlooked. Every choice to stay gentle when you could have grown hard was recorded, and every time you chose peace over bitterness strengthened your future. You are not stepping into reward by accident, you are stepping into alignment, and alignment brings ease where effort once drained you. So do not confuse calm with lack of progress. This peace you are beginning to feel is not the end of movement, it is the sign that things are finally moving in the right order. You no longer need to rush to prove yourself or hurry to catch up, because you were never behind, you were being refined. And refinement takes time. I know you feared that waiting would make you invisible, but waiting actually made you unshakable. It taught you how to listen inwardly instead of being ruled by noise, and that inner clarity will now guide your steps with quiet strength. You will begin to notice that decisions feel clearer, that confusion lifts faster, and that fear no longer has the same voice it once had. This is not because life has suddenly become easy, but because you have become grounded. And grounded hearts do not break easily, they bend, adjust, and rise again. I am leading you into connections that feel safe, work that feels meaningful, and spaces where you no longer have to explain your worth. You will not need to chase acceptance, it will meet you where you stand, and the peace you carry will speak louder than words ever could. Remember this always: you are not defined by the seasons that broke you, you are defined by the strength that grew inside you because you stayed, because you trusted, and because you did not give up. Even when no one was cheering you on. And now, as this new chapter opens, walk forward without shrinking, without apology, and without fear, because you are not walking alone. I am with you, guiding each step, steadying your heart, and bringing into your life what matches the depth you have earned. And what is coming will not ask you to survive, it will invite you to finally live. Listen closely, my beloved one, and stay with me a little longer, because there is still more your heart needs to hear, and I will not rush these words, for they are meant to settle deep within you, not just pass through your mind. I know you have carried questions that you never dared to speak, worries you buried beneath a brave face, and fears you wrapped in silence, but none of that has ever been hidden from me. I have walked with you through every unseen battle, every quiet disappointment, every moment you smiled for others while breaking inside, and even in those moments when you felt you could not go on, I was strengthening you in ways you did not recognize, holding you steady when you felt like you were falling apart. And now I want you to understand that nothing you endured was meaningless, nothing was wasted, and nothing was overlooked, because each tear shaped your wisdom, each delay shaped your patience, and each hardship shaped your depth, and that depth will soon become the very reason you can handle what is coming next. You have wondered if you were too damaged to receive good things, too tired to start again, or too late to step into what you once dreamed of, but I tell you clearly now, you are not too late, you are not too broken, and you are not too small for the plans I am unfolding in your life. What I am bringing to you will meet you exactly where you are, not where you think you should be, and I will not demand perfection from you, only honesty and trust, because your sincerity matters more than your strength, and your willingness matters more than your ability, and I have seen how many times you chose to stay, to believe, to hope, even when walking away would have been easier, and that choice has built something inside you that no storm can erase. There were seasons when you felt you were going backwards while everyone else moved ahead, but what you did not see was that I was redirecting you, not delaying you. I was removing paths that would have drained you and guiding you toward ones that will sustain you, and though it felt like loss at the time, it was actually protection. Though it felt like rejection, it was actually redirection, and though it felt like silence, it was actually preparation. I have not been testing your worth, I have been training your vision, so you can recognize what is truly meant for you when it arrives, and when it does arrive, you will not need to chase it, beg for it, or fear losing it, because it will fit you with peace instead of pressure, and with clarity instead of confusion. You will know it is from me because it will not steal your rest, and it will not demand that you become someone you are not. I am not bringing you into something that will break you again, I am bringing you into something that will heal you, strengthen you, and finally allow you to breathe freely. There were people who walked away when you needed them most, and there were doors that closed without explanation, and there were dreams that faded before they even had a chance to grow, but I have been keeping track of everything. And I am not only restoring what was taken, I am expanding what remains. What you lost will not define you, and what you gain will not resemble your pain. I am doing something new, something deeper, something more stable than anything you have known before, and when it begins to unfold fully, you will realize that the waiting did not delay your life, it preserved it. You will see how every slow season saved you from stepping into something too fragile to hold you, and you will be grateful not only for the blessings, but even for the pauses, because they shape the strength you now carry. So do not be afraid of the days ahead, do not measure your worth by your past, and do not shrink yourself to match old disappointments, because you are moving forward with purpose, covered in grace, and guided with care, and I am not finished with your story, I am only turning the page. And what comes next will not erase what you endured, but it will redeem it, honor it, and transform it into something beautiful that you never imagined could grow from such hard ground. Listen carefully, my dear one, this message is for you right where you are, and your path to this moment was not random because I saw every hard road you walked and every moment that almost broke you, yet you are still here, and I know the questions and doubts in your heart, so let my clear truth lead you now, because the right time has come and the quiet season over your life is starting to move away. You spoke your silent prayers, and even when nothing seemed to change, I gathered every one of them. You were always seen and always heard, and when I delayed some answers it was not to hurt you but to protect the full growth of what you truly desired, because some blessings given too early can feel too heavy to carry. But now my presence is moving through everything that held you back, bringing light into you to awaken what pain tried to dim. you were meant for this exact moment and prepared for this shift. Every breath brought you here. And the waiting is ending, the weight on your heart is lifting because my word brings life to what looked still, and this is why the struggle increased and your faith was tested, because resistance sensed what was coming, but it has no power to stop what I have spoken. Right now I am turning events in your favor, restoring what faded and correcting false ideas about your journey. You will not stay where you are and you will not be trapped by the past. You are stepping into a season where your prayers are answered not because of effort but because you are deeply loved, and I keep my promise to lead you forward. So stay open inside and do not push away the sudden joy rising in you, because it is proof that I am changing what once felt hopeless. Your next step begins with my clear declaration that you are valued, known, and now free. My presence is closer than before. Stay with me because I am just beginning. I started my work quietly the moment your heart hoped. Even before you saw signs, I was already moving things you could not see. And peace was settling with purpose. You wondered if anything was happening, but understand that real progress is often silent. My greatest works often begin hidden and unseen, and while you looked for signs outside, the real signs were growing within you. The calm that came suddenly, the hope you could not explain, the strength that returned without reason, these were not accidents but confirmations. You felt unseen, but I was already arranging what you could not imagine. Your trust mattered and your surrender was seen. I know your hidden struggles, and now I am bringing clear change. I heard your quiet prayers spoken from exhaustion, and I answered them not because of what you did but because you trusted me even when you doubted. The world did not need to hear them because they were recorded where it matters. You felt delayed, but my timing is different. What I am preparing is greater than what you imagined, and if it had come early it would not have lasted. So I allowed time to build a strong base and place the right people with honest hearts, and now the unfolding has started. You will see signs without warning. Your name will be spoken in places you have not been. Opportunities will come without chasing, and provision will come without explanation. This is not chance but fulfillment. This is my answer to the prayers you made when you were tired but still believed. I remember every word you spoke, and now I am fulfilling even the desires you forgot. Nothing escaped me. You did not have to prove yourself, only keep going. And even slow steps counted as faithfulness. Others may not understand how this is happening, but I do, because I was with you in sorrow and now I speak joy. I am not answering one prayer but setting many changes in motion. This is not sudden but destined. You stayed quiet so I answer clearly. You stayed faithful so I honor you openly. Watch closely because the days ahead will show strength in ordinary moments, and what was hidden will come to light easily when I guide it. So stay hopeful and unburdened because my grace is moving toward you. What I began in private is becoming visible, and you are stepping into places I prepared long ago. Keep watching and listening because answers you stopped expecting are coming sooner than you think, and none of my promises will fail. I know there were times you wondered if I heard you when silence felt empty, but that silence was not absence, it was my work unseen. That quiet season was full and sacred. I was building without display and protecting what would be revealed. Some things must be fully set before they are shown, and this was one of them. I wanted you to trust the quiet knowing inside you more than what you could see, because that kind of trust opens paths beyond information. I worked without noise so what comes would be truly yours, and unlike anything before. My silence was not neglect but care to make sure what was prepared was complete. I understand how it feels to be misunderstood while something big is forming, but I was close even when it felt still, shaping your future beyond what you could see, placing things no one could change, removing barriers, and bringing together chances only I could align. And now the time has come for what was hidden to be revealed. You will step into moments that feel right deep inside, not because you planned them but because your spirit recognized them long ago. This came from trust that stayed strong in uncertainty. You chose to trust when quitting was easier and moved forward when stopping felt safer, and that movement allowed me to grow what you placed in my hands. I never overlook brave hearts. I lift them up and honor their faith. I know how hard it was to believe when it seemed I was silent, but now you will see why it lasted. What I prepared needed protection and would have been harmed if shown too soon, so I kept it until it was secure. You lost nothing and you are not late or forgotten. You are exactly where you should be, and now I am showing what is complete. What comes next will be clear and marked by my closeness and love, so stay aware because what felt like emptiness was my deep focus. I was fully engaged in creating something greater than you imagined. You felt the days stretch and thought my answer was no, but I was giving you something better than speed. I was creating balance. What you saw as delay was me keeping you from stepping in too early, because what comes without a strong Base falls, so I controlled the timing to protect you. I saw your struggle with stillness and used it to prepare you. Some doors looked good but hid danger, and what felt like no movement was me removing what did not belong. I do not move by human clocks but by purpose. You wanted quick results but I wanted lasting strength. Even when you could not feel it, I was removing distractions and aligning hearts so you would step forward whole. You are not forgotten or held back. You are being placed. Carefully, I slowed things so you would not settle for temporary answers. What I have is solid and true, and though you grieve the quiet time, I was building strength that will last. Silence does not mean distance. Sometimes it is my clearest message to trust, and because you waited even in pain, I am now bringing something that will silence every thought of giving up. It will carry my mark and my timing, and you will not have to force it. I saw your patience while others rushed and your calm when action tempted you, and in that stillness I worked. Beneath the quiet a strong foundation was built that nothing can shake. Your time was not wasted and what is yours will come.